knowing, I mean, I think you're knowing how high profile this case was. What's going through your head?
Sadness. It's sad. Oops, I'm sorry. It's just sad that, this has happened to Charles, and she's given up her life as well. It's sad.
What did you think of her defending herself? Anything that went through the jury's head with that?
Well, for me personally, I thought, what does she have to lose? Guilty or not guilty, what does she have to lose? So
Were any of you folks aware that this woman had already been
I had never been heard. I have never heard of her.
3 homicides.
Yeah, no,
and
I've
the
never
jurors
heard of her
did not
before.
know that.
No, I did not.
And nobody brought it.
You didn't
Ma'am,
know.
would you want to come in and talk too?
You want to say
Do you want to say
anything?
anything?
Just
what
because
was your
there's a lot of backstory here, and this woman had already been convicted of 3 homicides, and they obviously didn't want you folks to know that, and nobody knew that during your deliberations.
No.
Is that correct?
Correct.
Wow.
What was this experience like for you?
It was sad, as he said. For me, it was the text messages that did it, as far as evidence. And I feel like we uncovered some lies.
Do you
So-
think she?
Now that she was convicted of killing her 2 children in Idaho.
I haven't had a chance to Google everything. I'm sure as soon as we get on the shuttle. So might have more to say later.
Was that difficult going through this? And
Yes,
not being able
it
to be
was.
disconnected?
Yeah.
Do
It
you
just felt
think
like there was a lot of information that didn't make sense and that was missing.
Do you think she did herself any favors by
No.
defending herself?
No,
You were not impressed with her
No.
lawyering skills?
no.
What did you think of her behavior during cross-examination? The way that at one moments she was argumentative with some of the witnesses.
Many days she just was like smiling and laughing and didn't seem to take anything very seriously.
How much of that did that play into a factor in the decision?
It did.
Were you hoping to hear her testify? Were you hoping
Yes,
to hear
I
her
was.
witnesses? And what about you?
I didn't understand why she didn't call anyone.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I don't
Did-
get
Or
that.
why she didn't have I know she made a statement about the only family that was interviewed was her estranged brother, and why wasn't her parents or her sister, but yet she didn't call them.
Did
So-
I mean, in saying that, she is not obligated to prove her innocence.
Exactly. Yeah.
Except to
And you gave her that benefit of the doubt. She recognized she didn't have to put on the defense.
She knew.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
She knew.
Was the fact that she didn't put up a defense or take the stand in her own defense part of your deliberation at all?
Did it
It was
affect-
all evidence. It was all evidence that was produced
Yeah.
and presented to us.
Sorry if this was asked, what would you say the biggest piece of evidence for you guys as a jury was when you came to the decision?
Well, for me, like her, it was the text.
The
texts
text
were damning.
history.
What specifically about the text?
Oh, there were so many.
Yeah, there was-
I mean,
there
we
was
had
2 of them
pages.
for me that really stood out.
Can you tell us which ones?
The Nephi.
Yeah, that was one of them. Soon you will be Nephi, and so will I. So that was one of them. But I don't know if I should say anything more.
We heard so much about dark spirits and religion and how this all plays into it. I mean, as a jury, what's going through your head when you start hearing that in court?
For me, that didn't really play a big role because you have to have evidence of conspiracy, and that is not evidence of conspiracy to me.
Was
Say
it-
somebody is?
Was it
possessed.
unusual for you guys to see, I mean, you're talking about her brother Alex, the guy who actually did that was the trigger man. So many players were referenced in this trial, and you never saw them and never heard
Correct.
from them. That had to be confusing when
It
you
was
guys got
very
back in the
confusing.
jury room. Yeah?
Yeah. It was very confusing.
What did, and how
It
did
just
what did-
felt like there was so much of the story that was missing.
Right.
Did she have any valid arguments, like anything that made you think maybe she's not guilty?
Do you want to answer? I can't think of any.
Honestly, up until yesterday, I would have said not guilty. But when the prosecutor, I don't know, what do they call that? When they give their
Closing argument.
Yes, the closing
Connected
argument.
the
That's
dots.
really, there's a few things she said in there, and then when when I looked them up today, I was like, oh yeah, that's bad.
And you were still on the fence yesterday.
I was yesterday. Yes.
Wow.
Give us a sense of what it was like to be in that jury room. Was there a point that someone was disagreeing, saying that maybe she is not guilty?
Yes.
Or were you guys
There was
all-
a couple.
And what was that like? Walk us through that.
It's just a matter of, you know, adults working things out and going through all the evidence and figuring out, you know, what we thought, what we were going to come to an agreement with. So.
To learn now that everyone that was in that house that day, minus Daybell, is all not with us anymore, is dead or has been killed. I mean, what is that like to hear as jurors going out?
Sad. Like, I kept wanting to hear from Tylee.
I was going to ask, is anybody wondering why Tylee wasn't testifying?
Yes.
You were.
Did you ever ask the judge why aren't they here?
No. And the one witness that really got to me was hearing Kay. I was holding back my emotions.